The real problem is niggerism. That's the real problem. And that's the problem in all ghettos. That's the problem, you know, niggerism, where you got people who have just been, they have dyed in the wool, if you will, against white America, against American structure, and they have no work ethic. You can't get a job. You can build all the jobs you want. You can't make these young boys go to work. They're not going to do it. The schools teach niggerism, you know, indoctrinated with niggerism. Niggerism is to let the government take care of you. The government owes you everything. The government owes you a house. It owes you education. It owes you income. It owes you a track phone. It owes you a pair of sneakers. I mean, and this is niggerism. And that's what all the black, the Hamite, if you will, politicians, and progressive, if you will, Japheth politicians, that's what they teach. And Detroit is suffering from a case of niggerism. And $100 million ain't gonna go nowhere except into the hands of all the thieves, the drug dealers, the politicians, and it'll be right back where it started from. Niggerism in Detroit. Ask God to help us, because only God can help black people where they are. Black people had Africa, that big old continent over there. They never built one boat that was seaworthy, not one. There's not one monument in Africa, in all of Africa. I know you're talking about Egypt. Egypt is not Africa. There are no great cities that were built. Even before the first colonization of white people coming to the shores of Africa, or the slave ships, black men built nothing. No sewer system, no houses above one level, and none of them made out of stone. All of them made out of grass and wood. Black men, before the white man ever got to Africa. The worst thing that could ever happen to South Africa was when they gave it to Nelson Mandela and black folk. That was a great nation. Now, there should have been some other resolution, though, than turning it over to Nelson Mandela. Disease, AIDS, and crime is running wild in Johannesburg. They're killing one another over there. They're dying of sickness. The government is mismanaged. The people who ran the nation are now leaving the nation because black folk don't know how to run no nation. They don't know how, and we need to admit it. I know you don't like it, but you need to stop shucking and jiving. We got a problem. Nigeria produces oil every year, yet the children over there are hungry and pot-bellied and walking barefoot. We got a problem. You talk about the Hutus and the Tutsis. Look what's going on in Zimbabwe now with Mugabe. We got a problem, black folk. And forget about Zimbabwe and South Africa, Nigeria. Look at what y'all have done in Harlem. You can't even hold on to Harlem. We got a problem. Black folk don't understand the world. You can get mad with me all you want. You can say what you, but you can't prove me wrong. Now, I'm not saying this because I hate black folk. I'm saying it because I love you enough to tell the truth. And the only person going to ever help us get out of the situation is going to be God. There's something wrong with the black man's mind. There's something wrong with his mind. He does not understand the world. He doesn't. I don't care if he learned medicine. He doesn't understand the world. He can't even hold on to Harlem. When he was here, he moved out. We got to talk to the Lord. People, we got to talk to God. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all? Crazy. Black people, let me tell y'all something. If you don't ever hear me say preach again, they can kill me tomorrow. But let me tell you something. We're not going to ever get anywhere until we look into the mind of a black man. He doesn't think correctly. I don't care what he is. He can be a doctor. He can be an astrophysicist. The nigga got no sense. You talk to him. You talk to a black man. He doesn't understand the world. He's never built anything. The most the black people have ever done, they did it here in America under white people's help. When they were in Africa, they didn't do nothing.
I've got to be honest with you people, like, I am fucking terrified. I feel so stressed trying to figure out how the fuck I'm going to keep my children safe through what's coming.
And the one idea is how we are going to exterminate white people, because that, in my estimation, is the only conclusion I have come to. We have to exterminate white people off of the face of the planet to solve this problem.
Can we please leave? Can we please leave?
Yo.
UK is on the brink of civil war within 5 years.
Is it just me, or does anybody else feel like this country is a shithole right now?
Just when I thought this country couldn't get any more of a rip-off.
Irish, I'm coming on top of you now. I'm gonna be slicing your babies, kids, and you before everybody. Get ready.
Fuck every white man, woman, and child alive on this planet.
All of you motherfuckers need to die. All of you do. We need to go for a global recessive genetic purge by any means necessary. Every last one of you white men, women, and child.
By a guy, last name Kaufman, I'm blanking on the first name, where he said it's Germany must perish. Yeah. Like, they literally wanted to get rid of Anglo-Saxons. And so when you have that context and you're going, whoa, 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 why was I never told about this book, which was published in America? He wrote a book about how they would have to just annihilate them, how they had to make them infertile, that they couldn't produce. And then you hear at the end of that war what was done to German-speaking civilians, and that should send a chill down your spine that you don't know it.
We're the only ones that are constantly having diversity shoved down our throats. Like, we are a global minority being replaced in our own countries, and I've had enough.
Honestly, all we can do at this point is prepare. So honestly, get yourself some things to protect yourself with. This government clearly has their own agenda. Please, please just prepare yourself. And when this is over, our government, they need trialing for treason against the UK and its people.
There's an interesting phrase going around these days. It's called black fatigue. When I heard that shit, I started laughing because I've been had black fatigue. Well, nigga fatigue. I love black people. See, it's the difference between niggas and black people. You understand? And what it should be called is nigga fatigue. Because even black people have nigga fatigue. You understand? The ghetto ratchet bullshit. All the ignorant stuff that these people stand for. All the ignorant stuff that these people defend. All the weird shit that these people say. All the victimization and acceptance of the bigotry of low expectations and all the Stockholm syndrome and all that shit like that. All the random acts of violence that people want to ignore because it's black on black, which they also want to ignore and just say it's proximity crime, but no, it's black on black crime. It's an epidemic. Black fatigue is some real shit.
That's all niggas do. They don't build anything. That's why you can't look around and why they gotta go back, harken back to we built this country. The only reason you black motherfuckers were able to build a country is because you were enslaved by white people. Had white people given you the fucking freedom and walked off the land, America would look like crap. America wouldn't even be America. It'd be taken over by somebody else. That's a fact. You need a damn slave master to get the majority of niggas to do what they supposed to damn do. If you don't have slave masters or police or something like that, niggas is gonna fuck it up. Look at every damn country on the planet. Niggas fuck it up. But you don't like me saying that. Well, I don't give a damn.
It's not racist to call black people out for their behavior and what they're doing to society at this moment. I'm glad people are noticing this because it's been so many years and it's finally catching up to y'all. I've been trying to tell y'all that white people are tired of y'all. I'm tired of y'all too, but everybody, the world is getting sick of y'all and y'all's bullshit. I'm so glad this day is here. I've been trying to get out there that you people need help. Not just me, but me and other black conservatives. We've been trying to warn society that this is what it's gonna come to when y'all keep coddling black people. They're gonna see themselves as higher ups. They're gonna see themselves as untouchable because the world wants to not be racist towards them.
Black fatigue. This video might make you uncomfortable, but it needs to be made. There's a growing sentiment, most recently, of individuals who are proclaiming they do have black fatigue. And you don't have to be a non-black person to have black fatigue. What does that phrase actually mean? Essentially, black fatigue is a growing weariness of the actions of the quote-unquote black community. But it goes deeper than that because we are in 2025 now, and we are being judged based on the content of our character and not the color of our skin. But the interesting part is the lie that's been sold to the black community in particular is that the color of our skin dictates the content of our character. That's why in the black community, sometimes you'll hear people say, oh, you are acting white when they're talking to someone like myself who doesn't act the way most people would expect a conventional black person to act. In their minds, there is a correct way to act black. And the people in your ethnic group who fulfill those very negative stereotypes, those are the ones who are going to essentially drag down the collective whole. And that's why there's individuals who are black who do and can have black fatigue because they see how damaging it is to see the worst of us attract all this negative attention that then unfortunately gets ascribed to the entire race all too often. But what's unfortunate is here in 2025, now we have to contend with the fact that there's people who are so sick and tired of seeing those negative aspects, those negative individuals in the black community attracting all this attention. That's what is spurring this black fatigue. I think it's something that needs to be talked about. And until we turn inward and address the issues in our own communities, I fear that this is only going to continue and get worse.
Black fatigue, or ghetto fatigue, is a real thing, and no one's staying silent about it any longer. No nationality wants to be involved or bothered by this loud, obnoxious group of people. No one, not even hard-working black Americans. I mean, I'm telling no lies here. Everywhere that group of people go, chaos follows. And no matter where you go, they're there. You can't go on a cruise ship because they done ghettoed it out. Have you seen the Carnival cruise ships? It looks like a fucking barbecue. And if you haven't noticed, it's always the same group of people. You know, loud, bonnets, pajamas, big ass eyelashes that flutter. You know, the EBT crowd. I mean, it's gotten so bad that you won't catch me at a Juicy Crab or a Cheesecake Factory, or even a McDonald's for that matter, because they turn those places into shooting galleries whenever someone that looks like them look at them wrong. They have mastered the victim card. Everyone's against them. There's oppression everywhere. And it's always the white man's fault, never their own. But let one of them tell it. They would have you believe that the police is the most dangerous thing within their communities. Wrong. You're the most dangerous thing in your community, which is why the police are there in the first place, to stop you from committing genocide against your own people. Look, no one's gonna stay silent to this toxic behavior. And you can call me all the Uncle Toms that you want, but the fact that you're calling me that shows me that I'm saying something with facts. And you wonder why most good black people move out of those communities as soon as they reach success. It's because they want more for themselves. And that crab in a barrel mindset is not conducive to prosperity. There is absolutely no accountability in that community. Most of that segment hate accountability. They hate truth. They hate to look at themselves in the mirror because they would have to face the fact that they're causing their own oppression. You also have the Democrat Party to thank for spoon-feeding that behavior, making you a permanent underclass, and you still vote blue, no matter who. But America is tired, and people have grown numb to your constant cry of racism. Everyone's a racist who doesn't agree with you. But meanwhile, you can be bigots to everybody else. But yes, I say it again, black fatigue or ghetto fatigue is real, and it's time that we say something about it. And please, don't waste your time. If it don't apply, let it fly.
Hey man, it's getting spooky. I just came across something called black fatigue. And basically, it's white Americans are sick of our shit.
I got news for you. Black Americans are sick of your shit. That's right. Black people are sick of black people's shit.
按说是你们受欧洲国家管理这么长时间，应该是学到了很多先进的管理经验。
哪有多少时间？没多少时间了。我们炒那个要那个国经济啊，很炒。现在是50年了，这几50年那个。就是50年以前，你不是都受他们 50年以前什么都好啊。
是啊，那个先进的影响，那个代代往传下来，越传越文明越发达了，怎么越来越倒退，越落后了？你看这么先进的铁路，我都1930几年就有电气化铁路，我这是中国啥时候才有电气化铁路的？你看矿区那个铁路，电气化那个双轨铁路，因为架得多好。你看现在顶上那个什么，哎呀，千疮百孔啊，破烂不堪了。把原来留下的东西根本都没有更加的爱护保护去利用它，反而都遭到了毁灭性的重创，都成这样子了。只有慢慢经过几代人，
他学要么这一下高，
Wow. Inge buat. Aku pegang. Begitu. Tumika abu. Aho ma. Inge nak kata. Aku. Aho ma. Inge. 다시. 다시. 왜 아크 퍼쳐? 아래 또 부우해. 그 그만 온 거. 아까 빨리 esse povoado aku
You're saying black folks created that name white supremacy.
That's correct, from Africa, because we are just amazed by the things they've done. Well, we describe them always by inventions, that's all. They can command water from far away through tubes into their bedrooms. We can even fetch a bucket of water from the next lake, you'll be drowned. They can put electricity. We never had one in Africa. They have airplanes fly over us. It's amazing. Everything they've done is the reason my people say these people are superior, not because of slavery. They came to colonize us and they brought things we have never seen before. They gave a king a mirror and he was dancing and sold his people away. They brought guns we have never seen, boom, and killed somebody right away. You know what they used to do in the Congo? They put dynamite in the rocks and then they hide the switch. And then when they point their finger, it go boom. And the Congolese till today, they call the white man kiboom, the sound of the dynamite. And then they go down and they go like this. If they're not superior, why do you see every picture when the white men arrive in Africa, we're bowing to them? We have never seen a gun kill a human being. We have never seen a mirror. We have never seen a radio tune in and somebody is speaking from England, the Queen's voice. So for us, all these things, these people must be really superior and close to God. They used to have a joke in Ghana that when God said, let's pray, the white man opened his eyes. The black people were covering his eyes. So the white men saw how God created the world. That's why they are so good at what they do. And I'm telling you, these are folklores from which we grew up. If anyone told you that white people came to Africa to tell us they're superior, it's a lie. They never said that. my country, tribes who say mean things and think that one is inferior. The Hausas of Nigeria, other tribes, especially the Yorubas, believe the Hausa man is inferior, and they say it to their face. It's not peculiar to racists. I'm asking you to give me, show me, describe an action that is only, cannot be found among any other group of people who wore the same skin color, who speak the same language. The Rwandan genocide was not between white and black. It was two black tribes killing each other in their own country. And you're talking about killing and hate. If the Hutus didn't, do you know what the Hutus thought the Tutsis were? Please Google and read about it. One tribe is called the Tutsis and the other tribe is called the Hutus. The Hutus killed the Tutsis, not with guns. Blunt machetes, threw their babies in wells and cut their heads off. Many refugees living in the United States came from Rwanda. They said the Tutsis were cockroaches, they can smell them. The Hutus actually believe when they walk into a house, they can smell them. So they were called cockroaches. Did you watch a movie called Hotel Rwanda? Yes. Please watch it. Yes. Okay, then why are you asking me about killing?
Zanu, some people will
I am asking you to describe an action that we all will agree here is distinct to racists. Like rape is only distinct to rapists.
I don't think there is none.
If there is no action, how did you come up with a name? How do you name a child that is not born or is not there?
I guess I never thought about
Somebody
it.
made a word because black people found themselves in a country that once wronged them by holding them as slaves. And they believe in their heads, if they can hold me slave, anything they do thereafter must be based on my skin color.
So are you saying that the term racism was invented by a black man and not a white man?
Why would a white man invent that? He had a reason he bought you as a slave purely for economic reasons, not based on your skin color. If that were the case, then we would agree here, no country would have bought people from within that country. Europeans bought each other as slaves. Is that not true now? Norwegians.
That's true.
The Latvians.
Same with the Vikings.
That's correct. And where are they today? Yeah, the whole of Northern Europe. How about the Romans? You think they bought Africans? No, they bought people from the Mediterranean.
And you know what, Zanu? It makes me think about after slavery happened, there was a group of black people, black men, who bought land and owned slaves, and they actually were so horrible.
Well, that is not a fake story. In fact, some very historian told the same story. Thomas Orwell, he knows because that is his field. And he said almost 3,116 black people bought other black people after slavery. Now, their treatment was so horrible, a white slave owner have to come and say, Jim,
calm down.
Calm down. It's a true story.
Yeah.
When we go low, we go low. That's very true.
So, what action, human action,
yes,
can we not find that is distinct?
Armani, have you come up with one yet?
So let me repeat what I said to you earlier. The mistake we made was this, and I want to clarify for you. It's not just in America with black people. If your status is slave, whether it's in Egypt, Europe, that's it. You do not expect for the other class to treat you the same because of your status, your class, not your race. You know what is called the commonness of the English culture? Commonness.
Commonness, yes, of course.
The regular person.
Do you think the English commonness have the same right, access to the same hotel, the same shops, the same bathhouse, the same area in the first class with the
same color or not? Same treatment.
That's correct. So the slaves that were bought by the Vikings, they were designated. They have to mark them for you to know they are slaves. Yeah. But they were white, isn't it?
Yes.
Do you think the slave of the Northern Europe would have the same right with the ones who held them as slave owners?
Of course not.
Okay, then why are you thinking that because we were brought from Africa, the only reason you use the word racism, this is the only place where the slaves who were brought here had a different skin color from the slave owner. So everything he does, instead of you to say it's because of your class, you're saying it's because of my skin color.
So you're saying that it was a class issue, not
everywhere race. You look, it's a class issue.
So instead of calling them racist, you might as well just call them
Yes, and that
classist.
class behavior happens everywhere. The English were notorious for it.
So it's classists.
That's it. Everything. There is nothing called racism if you don't and cannot share with me and describe for the viewers that action that is known just like rapists. That action is only racist. Do it. There is none. Why do they say it? Because blacks are the only people who know that their skin color is not beautiful.
So do you think we're internalizing something that we feel within ourselves? Like maybe we feel inferior, so we're saying
Yes, ma'am.
that others view us that way?
Yes, ma'am. You're so smart. You make it easy for me to explain it.
Okay.
It may sound very bitter,
Mm.
but it's true. Just from now, watch carefully and examine how we do it. Why would you be telling people that they hated me for my skin color? So that's not true at all, that they didn't like you because of the skin color. It is the foolishness of the civil rights movement. Somebody made this speech. I don't know how he thought that was a sensible thing to say. Judge a man by the color, the content of his character, and not the color of his skin. That is where this whole thing started.
It's just a big misunderstanding.
That's correct, because he knows exactly why people are behaving that way towards us. It's not only in America. Name a place on Mother Earth, which is not America, because you guys claim America is a racist country. Name a place on Mother Earth, including black countries, where the black men who are there feel very respected and treated as equals. Where do you know? Gen Zs, you are on social media, you travel far but staying at one place, but you go far through social media. I am asking again, in the Caribbean, in Africa, and then the rest of the world. I'm not excluding black countries. Name a place where the black people who live in there feel safer, happier, more respected, and treated equal.
It's typically in a white neighborhood.
No, I mean, name a country outside the United States.
Armani, would you say Jamaica is one of those countries?
No.
You're trying to say that, from what I'm understanding, in third world countries, anything that is not under maintenance is because, you know, we don't care.
No, you care. It's not in the concept. Travel the 54 countries in Africa and ask each person in every country, what is wrong with your country? Leadership. Leadership. All of you say the same word. So let me ask you, since 1960, the country has been picking the wrong leader every 4 years. Not a single railway built by the British is in Nigeria today, but the one they built in their country that same year, it's still running. Not a single railway built in Ghana in 1960 is still there today. What do you know in that country that has been properly maintained by the people every day and it works perfectly?
It's hard for people to maintain things when they're not gaining a lot.
No. It's hard for people to maintain things when they don't have the concept of maintenance in their culture. What is the one word in Igbo for maintenance?
Maintenance is, there's no direct English word for that. It doesn't translate directly to maintenance.
That's correct. How about you?
It doesn't translate.
That's correct.
But it translates to like take care of.
No, that's not maintenance. What is the one word for repair in Igbo?
Imezie.
Exactly. What is the one word for repair in You see, I'm driving you to somewhere. What is the one word for democracy in Igbo language? You don't. How about you? You don't. You're trying to practice something that is not in the concept of the language. There is no African country, and I've done it through Kenya, I've done it all, that has an equivalent of the word maintenance.
Well, in order to maintain something, you have to have it first, correct?
No, if I leave it for you, you can maintain it. The British left a lot of things in this country when they left. They established the hospitals, they established the fire stations, the post offices, the railway lines, the roads they built before they left. You are not able to maintain it because you don't have that concept. Because your environment, the tropical environment of Africa, the way you build your houses, the material you use, you don't require maintenance. Every country that is called industrialized countries, today, one of the things you know about them is maintenance of what they had. That's why we have buildings here that are about 250 years old, 300 years old in this country. There are buildings in other countries of Europe that are 700 years ago. The Notre Dame that burned in France was a 13th century building. Do you know what kept it that long till today? Maintenance is a culture.
Dr. T just listened to a video of a guy expressing the true sentiments of white people. White people are tired of this shit. White people are tired of hearing racism, oppression. Oh God, they're racist against me. White people are tired of hearing black people's excuses of why they can't graduate high school, why they can't raise their kids. Black kids running all over the city, running all over the city. No parents. I know why, because the parents let them do this shit. I've worked with black parents for decades. They won't work with you. They won't cooperate. Their lives are going down the tubes, and I can't get black parents to do anything, especially black mothers. I have seen black mothers chase the men that wanted to be there for their kids out of the state with their obnoxious, degrading, and conflicting behaviors constantly. The men just left the state. They couldn't deal with it anymore. And I knew they weren't lying because I met with these women and they were like that with me. And I was trying to save their child. White people are done. And when white people get sick and tired of us and these crazy behaviors and trying to blame them for it, this white people, no one's hearing that anymore, black people. No one's hearing that anymore. White people are getting ready to remove their support from you. And when they do it, then you're going to understand what racism and oppression is all about, Dr. T.
I hate Asians. I hate Asians. I don't give a fuck about the Asian hate bill. I hate Asians. I hate Johnny Dane. I don't eat Chinese food. Only time I ever wanted some Chinese pussy was at a bathhouse fucking them Chinese sex slaves. I wouldn't dare. Yeah. Chinese bitches can't suck dick good. Yeah, I hate Chinese people. Yeah, I don't give a fuck about China, man. I hate Chinese people, nigga. I think Chinese stores should be robbed. I think Chinese women should be raped brutally by big dick, well-hung black men that hate Chinese women. Fuck China Mac. I think Chinese babies should be raped, nigga, and killed and used as alligator bait. I think Chinese babies should be killed and sodomized and used as alligator bait. Fuck China Mac, nigga.
Black people will be spit on again. Nobody wants us even in their business. They don't want our money. They don't want us in their stadiums. We're gonna be an outcast. We ain't seen nothing yet, homie. We thought our ancestors endured something, but there will be a generation of black people that will endure something similar to what the nigger ancestors went through. And we earned it. Yeah, we earned it. We've taken on the animalistic, savage part of the human species. Go somewhere and see who the loudest in the place. Our violence have superseded the dignified people who we once were. We make up half of America's homicides. And this is a violent country. When foreigners migrate into America, they get introduced to America's system and America's society. They have a particular showing that they show of us. That's why other races and ethnicities give us a cold shoulder when they get here. They're taught that we're like what they see in the rap video. Now just think, they can't understand English. These people, so they see the rap video, all they see is, so why you think they don't want to do nothing? Why you think they act the way they act toward us? This is shown to the world about us blacks in America.
For today is everything that Caucasians do as a hobby is prepper based. They run 20 miles a day. They camp, they hike, they canoe, all this stuff they do for fun. They go to the GUN range right after the kids get out of school. Skiing, urban exploration, kayaking. All that has something to do with surviving beyond the means of the government. Once again, everything they do is war-based. But what they do is they turn it into a game. Now you might be thinking, now these are just regular Caucasian activities. But then I would ask you, why ain't none of that SHIT fun? Now ask yourselves, should we incorporate prepping into our fun time?
You know, and some of you say white people don't have any culture. Then what is this? I don't think you understand the heritage and athleticism it takes to be a professional, whimsical skedaddler. Is what I'm saying? Watch it.
Everyone is forgetting that he is an Irishman.
And an Irishman has a spirit that cannot, I mean, the Maoris, you know, we can liken them to, they are a special people. I'm not bumping them up, I'm not Irish. I'm just saying my observations of the spirit of this people. They are amazing. So I'm not talking about Conor McGregor. I'm not talking about an MMA fighter. I'm talking about an Irishman. An Irishman is always to be respected.
The fight for freedom, it still goes on. I took up my gun until freedom's day.
But there is a part of slavery that is hardly spoken of, and it do have nothing to do with white people. It have something to do with the Arabs. The Arab slave trade. The Arab slave trade lasts longer than the white people slave trade. And we hardly hear about that, and maybe it's because a whole heap of black people see themselves as Muslim. Why them talk less of it. And there is a part that no one spoke of or speak of when them talk about enslavement of black people, and that is the trek across the Sahara Desert. Them used to take our ancestors, chain them up and carry them across the desert. But even within that, before the Europeans go there, the Arabs them take all of it, because they must spreading them Islamic religion. And most of North Africa get caught in that Islamic religion. To the point where you have Africans now give up them Africanness and most talk about Islam. As a matter of fact, a whole heap of these Africans call anybody who was like most Muslims infidels. Can you believe that? Infidels. That means if he's not Muslim, whether you're black or whatsoever, you're supposed to dead. Yes, that is really the cry of Muslims, of Islam across Northern Africa. And we see right now the Arabs take over the whole of Northern Africa. And a whole heap of people believe, say, when we talk about Egypt and them to the people, them can't picture that. It's not so the original. Because the majority of Arabs don't live in Arabia. The majority of Arabs live in Egypt. And they colonize Northern Africa, go right into Mali. Right into Mali. I remember I said them did there long before the Europeans go there. So they must part of the enslavement of African people. Long before the Europeans go there. But we hardly hear anybody talk of that aspect of it. Because as I say, maybe it's because a whole heap of black people find themselves giving credence to Islam. No friend of Africa. Them see we as commodities to be enslaved and work and any other menial jobs. Up to this day, them still do it. And understand the history. Understand the history. Because meanwhile, them was dealing with the Africans, them.
There are just over 500 gangs and crews represented in the database. It is true that 99% of the individuals in the database are people of color. It is also true that in New York City, from 2019 to 2024, 96% of the individuals arrested for shootings and 96% of shooting victims were people of color.
There's a difference on the average between blacks and whites on IQ tests. I would say the difference is it's genetic.
Do you know who the first president of the USA was?
George Floyd. I mean, his name is George, though. I just don't know the last
Washington?
name.
Here's a story about a man who thought he'd bagged a bargain. A $700 trip from New York to Sydney, Australia.
I saw a mountaintop covered with white snow. At that point, I knew I was in trouble.
Mr. Barnett was indeed heading to Sydney, except it was a different Sydney, in a different time zone, in freezing cold Montana.
It's a matter of acronyms, the SYD as opposed to SDY. Somebody has to fix that.
Banduk nyumba ile nalungula kamara share. Unapomwona nyumba moja na kita bunyi nyumba banduk. Mkapata au mtuko kwa premier. Aiwa saa baya sana.
But I haven't seen any knowledge.
How many hours make up one day?
Hours make up one day. That'd be an hour make up one day.
Around how many hours? You got to guess.
I'll say 1 hour.
Yeah.
You gotta go through it.
What I can do?
It's not going through.
Man, this is $1. This is not your EBT card.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to get rude to you. I'm just saying it's not going through. See?
Man, this is $1. This is not a card.
That's what I'm saying. It's not. I'm just being serious with you. You want me to bring this to another store?
Can I have your banana to ring up for him? Huh? I need a banana to waste, so may I use that banana so I can charge you? Alright, I'm done.
This is fucking disgusting. Like, that's not even real right now.
Do you know what year the 2012 Olympics were held?
2012 Olympics?
Yeah. Do you remember what year that was? That happened.
So what year was the 2012 Olympics held?
Yeah, like what year were they held? I think they were in Tokyo. Remember what year? Around what year, and then if you had to guess.
I never watched that shit, but it sounded like it was around probably around either 2000s, probably 1999, one of those.
Give me a 1999. Is that your guess? Yeah.
The Cheddar Man reconstruction was advised by a scientist called Tom Booth, who works with the Natural History Museum. In 2017, he worked on a paper with my former university, UCL, where he complains about racists and right-wing people and Brexit and how geneticists have a duty to try and prevent people from identifying with ancestral populations because that feeds into nationalist narratives. Recently, after all this time of him encouraging black people in UK to believe Cheddar Man was like them somehow and like part of, like racially like them or genetically related to them, even though he knows perfectly well that Cheddar Man has no relation to them. He'd made a tweet saying something along the lines, I have to paraphrase, like, now that black people have identified with Cheddar Man is politically black because he's part of their cultural frameworks. Like, you just lied to make them think that, and then you say because they believe the lie, therefore now it has to be true because it's part of their cultural experience of being British and black. So it's completely unscientific. It's so dishonest.
We have sequenced the genome of a 37,000-year-old individual from Europe, meaning it's one of the oldest modern humans found in Europe. And this genome basically reveals three different things. First of all, and this is very surprising, we can see that all the major genetic components present in living day Europeans were already present in Europeans 37,000 years ago. And that changes the whole concept of how Europe was populated, where we previously thought, well, it was massive movements of people from outside into Europe providing genes. Now the data suggests, no, there was like this meta-population of people stretching all the way from Europe to Central Asia, exchanging genes in a very complex network with each other.
How did the different types or races of man, if you will, appear on the planet?
By hybrid mixes. And that's how all the races came about, through mixings and crossbreeding.
Yeah, because I never bought into the story that someone could walk out of Africa and then over time the skin tone changes, the facial features, and the structure of the hair changes. I never really bought into that.
Yeah, and that's what we're taught, and that's what textbooks say. but it's false. And we need to understand what the true history is. Out of Africa, the African Garden of Eden has become a strict part of the Darwinian paradigm. This is where the professors and experts tell us that all mankind came from Africa. I don't believe this is true. This is only about 25 years ago that the African Garden of Eden, the African Eve, became popular and became a fixed idea in Darwinian evolutionism. But it's not true. And as you say, it would be impossible for the African to migrate out and go to Sweden and turn white, to go to China and turn yellow. Those are fairy tales that they're still teaching in school.
We like to think that Indo-Europeans basically evolved from Cro-Magnon in Europe. But there's also a big problem with this. There clearly were Europeans in Sumer, ancient India, the Aryans of ancient India.
Egypt, of course, and then you can go further afield and you have India, China, Japan, and there is evidence of this not just archaeologically. You know, the temples and the shrines and the buildings are distinctly Aryan. You have the ancient texts and the myths and the legends which all speak about the white gods. You have mummies that have been found perfectly preserved with red hair and with blonde hair. The traces and the marks of our race can be found throughout the world. For example, in Iraq, the people that you see there now, they weren't the original inhabitants and they weren't the builders of that civilization. You see the Arab peoples now. But once upon a time, this was a high civilization that I think people would scarcely believe if they could go back and see it as it was in all of its glory. You would never be able to connect modern-day Iraq to Mesopotamia. In historical terms, it wasn't really that long ago that we had a very high civilization in Mesopotamia, known as, in ancient Greek, the land between two rivers, and it was seen as the cradle of civilization. In Babylon, Babylon didn't start off as the biggest kingdom, but it flourished under the reign of Hammurabi, and it had all the markers that are typical of a white civilization. You had the monuments, you had the huge monuments that were built, the temples, you had the code of laws, which was brought in under Hammurabi, and the taxations, the centralized government. The running of it was the model of a white civilization. So once upon a time, you would never see the people that you would see there now. You would look at them and you would see white people. You certainly wouldn't see Arabs. Of course, many of the statues and the artwork in Babylon depicted people unmistakably as Aryans. Blue eyes was rather prevalent. So you have this ancient white homogeneous society that stretched back for thousands of years, which in modern day terms you could equate to being bigger than, say, New York or somewhere like that. So originally you have this high civilization, this white homogeneous civilization, which had existed for thousands of years. It comes to the point where instead of those from outside being kept out with the gates and the walls, they decide to start bringing in people from other tribes, other nations, other races. They start bringing them in to their land to do various jobs, to assist them in their civilization, jobs that were jobs and ways that were created by the Babylonians that they decide they can source out to others. So they start bringing in outsiders, people of other races, other nations, to their land. But then the ideology, which is of course anti-God, anti-nature and modern-day Marxist in its root, would come in that these people should start to play a bigger part in your civilization, that they almost have become part of that civilization that you've built. So these people then began to dwell within it, to live there, to stay there. So they've come from completely being kept outside to working there, and then they're living there. So you start to have the civilization becoming diluted from how it originally was built. People start to forget who they are, and they start to unite under a false banner, an ideological, egalitarian idea that they are all same, they are all one. And they decide to build a tower. They decide to take what was once separated and unite it under their own guise, under their own ideology. So they start to build a tower. And it's a huge tower. They want it to stretch right up to the heavens. And they want it to be a tower of representing their ideology as such. A tower that stretches up to the heavens, that shows them as one people, united, one language, one people, together. So they actually did build this tower. And it was absolutely huge, and it did go up to the sky. And it was their celebration of the modern ideology, which goes back to them times as multiculturalism. It was their celebration, their monument to celebrate that. And the thing to remember with this tower is not only was it a literal tower, it existed, it was built, but the metaphor for that is something we see played out in our lands over and over again every single day. We are told that we are one. We are told that we are nations of immigrants, many people, many tongues, but we shall be together as one. We're all the same. This is exactly what they did and what they were celebrating. So they built this tower up to the heavens to celebrate that. To celebrate everything which was divided, which they decided to take charge of themselves, to unite as one, to put together. And this didn't please God. God had made everything distinct and separate, kind after kind, for a reason. And the Bible will tell you what happened here, so I'm going to read from there. This is Genesis 11. Now the whole earth had one language and one speech. And it came to pass, as they were journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said to one another, Come, let us make bricks and bake them thoroughly. They had brick for stone, and they had asphalt for mortar. And they said, Come, let us build ourselves a city, and a tower whose top is in the heavens. Let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be scattered abroad over the face of the whole earth. But the Lord came down to see the city, and the tower which the sons of men had built. And the Lord said, Indeed the people are one, and they all have one language, and this is what they begin to do. Now nothing that they propose to do will be withheld from them. Come, let us go down there and confuse their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from there over the face of all the earth, and they ceased building the city. Therefore its name is called Babel, because there the Lord confused the language of all the earth, and from there the Lord scattered them abroad over the face of all the earth. And in this example you not have only the literal building of the tower, you have the metaphor for what we see in all of our lands. People uniting as one. Nobody's separate or distinct. There is no kind after kind. There is no separate race of peoples. Everybody exists just the same. But the Lord scattered this apart. He destroyed this tower that they built. But the ideology that stems back then, thousands of years ago, is prevalent now in all of our lands, and this is what we're told every single day.
The idea that you should first have mass non-white immigration into a white country, then followed by the agenda of race mixing to the point where the whites become extinct. It's not new. We saw it in Babylonian times thousands of years ago.
That's what the Tower of Babel moment was. It was a stand against, they got annihilated. They were trying to unify everything, and we were already in a semi-unified state. And they were using that to try to take ownership genetically by redoing genetic on some particular level, whether it just be, whites dating blacks. That was certainly all of the above. All of the above. All these ancient Aryan civilizations blew up in fits of self-hatred. Anytime you're subverting your organic identity for some abstract principle, whether it be environmentalism, which is just the new communism, or communism, well, it's going to end up in disaster, sure. But it always runs its course. Ancient Greece, of course, when they set up shop over Athens or whatnot, it became probably a large race-mixing haven, just like it in America. In ancient Egypt is the same plan afoot in America. I believe that the plan to genocide us is ancient. Anytime you're subverting your organic identity for abstract principles, it doesn't matter whether it's Zoroastrianism or Buddhism, it causes all this havoc. It's the same shit over and over again we're constantly dealing with. But that's still a closed system. Every time our race does that, we end up browning out.
Is today, for the first time, we're seeing that this agenda, as done for us years from Babylon, is not just for one particular white country, it is for all white countries. All white countries must first have mass non-white immigration, just like in Babylonian times.
Have you ever heard of the Moon-Eyed People? They were a mysterious group of pale-skinned, blue-eyed people who are said to have lived in the Appalachian region of North Carolina and Georgia before the Cherokee arrived. According to Cherokee legend, the Moon-Eyed People went north into the mountains during a full moon and began living like ghosts. The first recorded European settler mention of the Moon-Eyed People comes from Benjamin Smith Barton, a botanist and educator, who published a book in 1797 called New Views of the Origin of the Tribes and Nations of America. In this book, he quoted a conversation he had with Colonel Leonard Marbury, an early settler of Georgia who had frequent interactions with the Cherokee. Marbury told Barton that the Cherokee had told him that when they first arrived in their current territory, they found it inhabited by certain moon-eyed people. Another source of the legend is John Sevier, the first governor of Tennessee and a Revolutionary War hero. In 1782, he met with Okanosoda, a Cherokee chief who was over 100 years old at the time. Okanosoda told Sevier that his ancestors had told him that there was once a white race of people who lived in America before them. They had crossed the Atlantic Ocean and landed near the mouth of the Alabama River near Mobile. They then moved northward and settled in the Appalachian Mountains, where they built stone forts. They lived peacefully until the Creek tribe came and drove them away. The legend of the Moon-Eyed People is similar to the Cherokee tales of the Yunwi-Sudi and the Nunahi, both of whom have been described as phantom races. However, the fact that the Moon-Eyed People appear to be human has led to speculation concerning their origins. There has been some historical and archaeological evidence to support the existence of a mysterious race of people who lived in Appalachia before the Cherokee. But who were they and where did they come from? One possible answer is that they were Welsh. They also point to some linguistic and cultural similarities between Welsh and some Native American languages and customs.
You wish to know why you feel pain in your life. Simply that is because you was created via chaos. You are the stars. You are the explosions of the universe in its chaotic ripples. Just as you are the all-encompassing of duality. The love, the hate, the dark and the day, little one, to the universe, they are all the same. They sit in the same web of creation and destruction, cause and effect eternally playing in motion. Just as you and your emotions are always in duality, you have to learn to rise above the feelings. Ignore the voice within, little one, for it is distraction. For the universe was born of chaos, and it is up to you to silence the ripples within you, which are an emanation of the creation of all existence. For the universe gave you life via chaos, and it is up to you to bring order. It is up to you to find the silence within you. Find what was always there. Find the great spirits beyond the flesh. Seek that which existed before the days of the cause and effect. The hidden hand of the eternal dance. Designer of the universe's maths. The invisible force beyond man. You see, your body is your temple, the pentagram, the Venus dance, flower of life in the stars, drew by the concealed hand. The knowledge of the Keltoi and Tuate de Danan. You were told to follow Elon, the illuminator of the sacred path, found in silence before the light comes to pass. Maths of the invisible, replicated below by human hands. For your ancestors understood the Creator and His plans. As above, so below where you stand. For the spark of source is in every man. The eternal conscious source before the cause of the word came to pass. Escape the noise and you'll find the silence of the void ever lasts. Your universal existence, an emanation of the hidden hand. You are the creation as well as a creator of sacred maths. For geometry is the language and the tool of the concealed hand. Do you understand? The universe eternal exists in the mind of man.
The next thing, I felt that I was in this long dark tunnel with a very, very bright light at the end, so brilliant. It was more brilliant than the sun, absolutely brilliant. And I felt it was very natural to be drifting towards the end. It seemed very peaceful and quite natural thing to do. The next thing, I felt that I was in this long dark tunnel. I felt that I was in this long dark tunnel. I felt that I was in this long dark tunnel. felt that I was in this long dark tunnel.
This year is speaking with his guns. He was you shall become. In his divine law, in their way will fall. Before the mighty warrior, the ritual of love is the gift. To the spirits of the sea, they will help us reach the place of our glory. Through the sea, through fire, through all that and fighting, we will come to the sacred land. Nothing stops us, nothing breaks us, our Father awaits us in the cold halls of our life.
Hon hade en falskeliger tunga. Hermannelig, tror loven i vik var det jag bjuder så gärna. I kunden väl svara endast ja eller nej, om vi viljen eller ej. Eder vill jag giva det kvarnarna 12 som så mellan Tillö och Tärnö. Senarna det är av röda med guld och julen silverbeslagna. Hermannelig, tror loven i vik för det jag bjuder så gärna. I kunden väl svara endast ja eller nej, om vi viljen eller ej. Eder vill jag giva ett förgyllande svärd som klingar utav 15 guldringar. Och strida nu, vi strida vid stridsplatsen, solen i välinna. Hermannelig, tror loven i vik för det jag bjuder så gärna. I kunden väl svara endast ja eller nej, om vi viljen eller ej. Eder vill jag giva en groda så blir den bästa i lysten att slita. Inte är hon sömnad av bråd eller tråd, en virkad av silken vita. Hermannelig.
This is not an unusual incident in the Bible, though, and should be taken seriously, as there are strong links between the Christians and snake worshippers. In medieval times, there arose a pseudo-scientific brotherhood of alchemy. Their main symbol was the Ouroboros, the serpent or dragon who eats his own tail, a divine symbol of cyclical eternity and immortality, ever encircling the earth. In a translation of the alchemical text, Museum Hermeticum, there is a remarkable allusion to the truth behind the element of the Ouroboros snake. Most venomous is he, yet lacking nothing. When he sees the rays of the sun and its bright fire, he scatters abroad poison and flies upwards so fiercely that no living creatures can stand before him. His venom becomes great medicine. He quickly consumes his venom, for he devours his poisonous tail, and this is performed on his own body, from which flows forth glorious balm with all its miraculous virtues. Here do all the sages rejoice loudly. This is a remarkably literal picture being painted here for the Grail. The snake, most venomous, his venom becomes a great medicine, and all of this is performed on his own body, from which flows a glorious balm. That the ultimate secret of alchemy was the healing serpent, hidden from the profane just as it is in the tale of the Holy Grail. Over time, alchemists became scientists, and those peddling snake venom were derided. They were snake oil salesmen, and the secrets lost. And yet the fact remains that the snake is abounds with healing properties.
Christe eleison, Christe eleison, Pater de celis Deus, miserere nobis, Fili Redemptor mundi Deus, miserere nobis, Spiritus Sancte Deus, miserere nobis, Sancta Trinitas Unus Deus, miserere nobis, Sancta Maria, ora pro nobis, Sancta Dei Genitrix, ora pro nobis, Sancta Virgo Virginum, ora pro nobis, Mater Christi, ora pro nobis, Mater Ecclesiae, ora pro nobis, Mater Divine Gratiae, ora pro nobis, Mater Purissima, ora pro nobis, Mater Castissima, ora pro nobis, Mater Inviolata, ora pro nobis, Mater Intemerata, ora pro nobis, Mater Amabilis, ora pro nobis, Mater Admirabilis, ora pro nobis. picture also for people. If you've ever read about things like Project 2045, Project Avatar, you know, what they call the next step of human evolution, merging man with machine, creating immortality, will seriously prolong life. And you know, even had the Dalai Lama signed up to that actually. But you see, their aim with that was to eradicate racism, disease, pain, the need for surgery, no more need to sleep or even breathe oxygen, right? Think about all that. You could get sent out to space then, colonizing other planets, not needing to breathe or sleep. Do you know what I mean? That's the bigger picture also. We're slowly being pushed through all this gender stuff that's going on and all this child grooming being normalized and softened in the media, all this gender neutrality bollocks, you know what I mean? If you know what I'm getting at. But that's another bigger picture, is the Project 2045. That will be the real Matrix. You don't live in the Matrix yet. You will, unless you stand up about it and do something. You are going to wave goodbye to most of your human rights and your connection to nature and spirit and energy. Truly once and for all. Right? All of this hiding the real truth from all of the religions. The clearest one is Christianity, with the symbolism that retained it, with the serpent ascending the spine, the apple fruiting within, Adam and Eve hiding their privates, semen retention, Kundalini meditation, the serpent rising, Jacob's ladder, the spine, Jesus dying at 33, arising, giving sight to the blind, the 33rd vertebrae where the DMT is created atop. There's a way bigger picture that most are so blinded to, they just would not understand. So, you know how like the Jews have twisted everything and made it all backwards, right? There's a big thing I've realised too, because that's what they have done, is put everything in reverse, backwards. They've made us think that they're the God's chosen people, right? These Jews. When they're not. We are the white Europeans. They call us the non-humans and all this because we are the descendants of demigods, the real tribe and the descendants of God. So think about this deeper, right, with all the shit I've been trying to get at recently. Think about it a lot deeper. You know how they've demonized our symbology, made the serpent out to be evil when it's just the energy ascending your spine in meditation. They've made this they've made the pentagram out to be all evil when it's just human natural meditation positions, standing 5-star point position, Venus and Mars crown of victory cycle alignments over 8 years and all this, right? The reindeer geometry, it's not an evil Baphomet, it was a reindeer, it's nothing evil. So once you understand that, again, everything has been reversed and twisted and put backwards. Whoever this Lucifer was, Satan, Lucifer, that they have demonized and made out to be so fucking evil, it's because they want you worshipping a foreign god, innit? A foreign Jewish god. So when you start studying it back further, a lot of our stuff goes back to that. Lucifer, the one of light, the bringer of light, is even described in the Bible as the best looking and the most intelligent, right, and all that. Why then is there angry spirits in our lands aimed at these establishments and these religious people? Once you start getting to the root of it and understanding how backwards every fucking thing is, right? And like all the demonization of twisting hell to be this place of fire and burning. Well, it was because we always had fires going up in the north. Right, a Viking pagan flame, the eternal flame. That's what they wanted to destroy and make you fear. the one of light, the light bringer, Lucifer, the light bringer, the blue-eyed. Right, it's like I've been trying to get at. The church always depicts that the devil is the blue-eyed, white native of Europe that they want replaced for their clergy plan, and this is why the church calls us Gentiles and non-humans if we're non-Jewish, because they're trying to destroy our lineage and our bloodline and our real roots and ancestry and the consciousness that we hold within, the light that we hold within. They're trying to extinguish the true light of God. They've demonized everything and rewritten it and twisted it to make you fear it, to make you fear certain things and certain names and certain people, to really actually stop you connecting to the light within, that is divine within all Gentiles, because we are actually the descendants of demigods. We're not from the same fucking father as the Jews, the fallen angels and all this. These cunts have reversed every fucking thing so much that it's just beyond a joke at this point. Like the whole religious institution are the ones following the devil, to be honest. Like, they're the ones that are sacrificing children for adrenochrome and sucking baby dick and trying to eradicate white people for this Jewish clergy plan. Do you know what I mean? Like, the world's been so indoctrinated for the past 2,000 years. It's been so deeply ingrained that people don't know any better anymore than to just fucking think that, yeah, this is this and that is that. We've got a good and a bad. When in reality, them good and bad have been written by the enemy to deceive and confuse you away from the real truth. It's like they want to demonize and just make you fear. You know why? There's a reason that you was told that all these wise men throughout history allegorically went off alone into nature for weeks and weeks and hardly ate and just meditated and had visions and ascended and seen what they wanted and became aware on a higher conscious level, became ascended and connected to their nature. And that's because the truth is found in silence. Society, break it down 3 ways. Society, it's a psyop. It's a crazy psyop of continuous noise, negativity, cycles that keep you distracted, take you away from inner peace and deeper connection. It's all a psyop to keep you living in continuous conflict, continuous drama, continuously distracted away from the true reality and nature of who and what you are. All the religions, everything, the true meaning of all of it is about escape. There is no escape in this world without going in. You cannot leave without going inside yourself and ascending beyond it all. You can't get out without first going inside yourself. The rebirth, the baptism of spirit from within, the ascension of Christ consciousness being reborn within, the sacred secretion which religion took out and hid to stop you from reaching your full potential and finding the light within. They don't want you seeking the true light within. As God even told you in their Bible, God dwells within all of you. You are all children of, and your bodies are your temple, nothing made of stone. At the end of the day, everything in the religions, it's all allegorical, the majority of it, the spiritual side of it. It's all an allegory to the duality, as above, so below, the human body, anatomy, and the Christ consciousness, ascension and baptism of spirit being rebirthed within, aligning with the celestial cycles above at certain months in the year, the 12 cranial nerves, the 12 celestial bodies, the aligning in time becomes the connection inside the 12 disciples of Christ consciousness, the Godhead, as the ancients called it, for good reason. And this is why allegorically in the Bible you are told that Jesus died at 33 and then arose and gave sight to the blind. It's all an allegory to the spine, Jacob's ladder, the serpent ascending it, the semen retention cycle, the baptism of self, the claustrum, Santa dropping gifts down after, 33, the 33rd vertebrae atop the spine where the DMT is created after the sacred secretion is reached. And this was the whole allegory, if you want to look at shamanism and the way that they take ayahuasca and DMT to reach these ascended states, to see beyond this dimension. This is exactly what Jesus was, an allegory to you, to me, to human male anatomy, as above so below, the duality, the ascension of Christ consciousness being rebirthed within, the creation of DMT atop the 33rd vertebrae, activating your pineal gland, your third eye, fully becoming aware to a level of consciousness never before reached, unable to be explained to the majority of people unless they see it. Because it is these false messiahs in control of the religions and establishments and systems that are the false messiahs of materialism and physical realm that deceive you in this world away from your true essence and spiritual ascension, because they ultimately want to keep control of you physically and mentally and spiritually. You are kept in spiritual destitution by those in control of these institutions. It's no longer a connection to God, religion. All religion is a belief in God. It's not a connection to. It's all been twisted over time to make you fear for control of you. You're not going to go to hell and burn. It's all just lies and deceit. We're already in hell. We are the lowest realm, the lowest sphere of gross matter. This existence has been corrupted by the false messiahs who have brought spiritual destitution over the world and over the masses. You've brought materialism over the world to control the people and blind them, and to distract most people, distract them and keep them off track from finding the light within and ascending beyond this dimension. You're being trapped into reincarnation in this lower dimension over and over and over, and that's not how the cycle is meant to be. You're meant to be here, experience, learn what you need, and ascend on, and keep ascending on to higher dimensions and higher ways of being. It's what you are. You're a human being. H-U-E, hue, man of color, light being, energy, frequency. You are light being kept from your own spirit. You are kept in blindness by these people. We are already in hell, and it's up to you to ascend out of it. That's what they're stopping you from doing. For ultimate control of your spirit, of your soul, and of your energy. Ultimate control of all of you. Even the halo is just the electrical circuit in your brain being activated, the full circuit being reached, the circuit of Galilee activating atop. Do you understand why it's called the rebirth? The rebirth, and why it's connected to male anatomy, the snake, the serpent, the penis, the semen retention ascending up your spine over months and creating the empty atop. It's all just a chemical reaction and catalyst in spiritual awakening. Everything connects. The holy elixir of life, the anointed oil, right? The seed of life. For I hold within me my Father, my Son, and my rebirthed spirit, ascended down from the heavens, the brains, the north, the ascended consciousness. Another duality in the meaning of the Holy Trinity, one of many. And one reason that Lucifer was given the name of this, the Lightbringer, and made out to be the bad one and the evil one, was to scare people away from reaching that potential within and awakening again and leaving the deceit of this existence. It's all an allegory to you, all of it. Lucifer, Jesus, they're both an allegory to you in your spiritual struggle between deception and truth, light and dark. And when you become ascended past all of it, you become the bad guy to the establishment, because you see past it all. You see past all their lies. You see how they are the false messiahs keeping this world blind. That's why they demonized our symbology, to scare you from reaching the truth. For your body is your temple, and God dwells within. You are all children of the Most High. Was you not told this? So, don't bother asking why the truth and the knowledge was hidden, lost, concealed, made mythology, or turned into allegorical stories over time. The simple answer is persecution. The elite didn't want the masses knowing how to awaken properly to themselves and reality, to stop them gaining power and control. They used it for greed among a small circle. The knowledge of astronomy and real meditation was persecuted, even punishable by death due to elite families, creating modern religions, wanting power, control and greed over the world. They killed and punished people away from the true knowledge, so that only they would be seen as the gods, or the only communicators of. We carried on our teachings under mythology, that only the awoken souls would understand in allegory, to avoid persecution by the establishments. Very few outsiders of the elite families controlling society kept the knowledge and passed it down after all the wars, crusades, persecutions, etc. So, as we have entered the age of Aquarius, the age of reawakening, don't bother asking yourself why. Why was the knowledge, the truth, banned, hidden, or lost? Instead ask why. Why is it now returning? Because only when you turn away from the establishments Will you see it all clearly, in all its simplicity and glory, when they all start to fail and crumble with their corrupt laws and lies? Will you see reality for what it truly is and has been for all this time? the oaks where heroes stood, with iron wills and hearts of wood. Our fathers carved the sacred land, with plough and sword in calloused hands. From Celtic forts to Viking seas, their blood still sings from you and me. So raise the banner and hold it high, for the soil on which your kin did die. And through the ages, strong and free, Europa's heart will ever beat. And with our honour we'll defend the flame of nations till the end. The cross and crown are iron's law, the tales of knights on distant shores. From Boudicca to the pillars of Crete, our roots run deep and our foes will meet. No foreign chain can ever break our soul, for freedom's fire it'll make us whole. So raise the banner and hold it high, for the soil on which your kin did die. Through the ages, strong and free, Europa's heart will ever beat. And with our honour we'll defend the flame of nations till the end. When the mystics call through war's dark tide, when brothers fought and their mothers cried, Celtic drums to rebel tunes, our spirits rose and our strengths renewed. Each stone, each spire a story told, of courage fierce and faith of old. So hear the rivers and hear the bells, the songs of home where memory dwells. No storm can ever break our ties, for in our veins the past still cries. United stand from Alps to Strand, one people, one eternal land. So raise your banner and hold it high, for the soil on which your kin did die. 'Cause through the ages, strong and free, Europa's heart will ever beat. And with our honour we'll defend the flame of nations till the end. So sing my kin through night's cold grip, let's not our fathers' memory slip. With every step we'll guard the flame, and carve in stone our sacred name. From misty glens where ancients dwell, to the fjords where Thor's mighty hammers fell, our blood runs deep like the rivers of old. Carved in stone our sagas told, with Celtic knots and runes that bind, we guard the souls of our sacred kind. So hail the north where the strong endure, with honour's fire our hearts stay pure. Victory calls through storm and strife, for Europa's pride we'll defend for life. So raise your banner, let ravens soar, our spirit stands forevermore. No foreign tide shall ever break our will, on sacred grounds we stand here still. The oak and ash our roots entwine, the Great Spirit it blesses our battle lines. With iron hearts and swords held high, our ancestral kin shall always rise. So hail the north where the strong endure, with honour's fire our hearts stay pure. Victory calls through storm and strife, for Europa's pride we'll defend for life.
So raise the banner, let ravens soar. Our spirit stands forevermore. Through Odin's eyes and Luke's great spear, they guide our path from clear fog and fear. No chain shall bind the sons of frost. We'll fight until the stars are lost. With the blood of heroes we forever sail. In Europa's name we shall prevail. Our spirit shines in the Hall of Kings, where skalds and bards of our glories sing. From Tara's hill to the Viking shores, our spirits arise forevermore. With discipline forged in warrior's creed, we sow the future for our sacred seed. So hail the north with a strong endure. With honor's fire our hearts stay pure. Victory calls through storm and strife. For Europa's pride we'll defend for life. So raise your banner, let ravens soar. Our spirited stands here forevermore. So lift your horn to the skies above. For kin and soil, for the ones we love. In Celtic heart and Norse-born soul, we'll keep the flame of this world of old. For strength, for honor, for victory's call, Europa stands and will never fall. From ancient hills where druids chant, to fjords where longships carve their slant, on Slavic plains with thunder's roar, our kin stood tall through storm and war. From Celtic fields to Viking huts, their iron hearts still pulsing blood. So hoist the runes, the knot and flame, for those ancient clans who carved your name. Through the frost we will never bend, our northern souls until time's last end. With axe and oath we'll stand as one. The fire of kin it will never be done. The Celtic harp sang freedom's call, where chieftains rose and foes did fall. In Nordic skies the ravens soar, through Odin's breath in saga's lore. The Slavic wolf with eyes of flame, its guarded fields no chains could tame. Germanic groves our war horns cried, for honor's sake our fathers died. So hoist the runes, the knot and flame, for the ancient clans who did carve your name. Through the frost we will never bend, we're northern souls until time's last end. And with axe and oath we'll stand as one. The fire of kin it'll never be done. And by standing stones and sacred springs, the Celtic bards still weave their strings. The Nordic seas of frost and fate bear Thor's old hammer to this day. On Slavic steps the riders race, their spirits fierce, no fear to trace. Germanic halls the shields align, their strength endures through blood and time. Oh, hear the winds that howl and wail, through forests deep and mountains trail. The gods of old their voices call, in every heart they never fall. From Nordic shore to Highland crag, we raise the horn, the banners and flag. So hoist the runes, the knot and flame, for those ancient clans who did carve your name. Through the frost we will never bend, we're northern souls until time's last end. with axe and oath, we'll stand as one. The fire of kin, it will never be done. So sing my kin through winter's bite. Our blood still runs with ancient might. With every step we'll guard our cause and hold the north forevermore. For Celtic, Norse and Slavic rights we'll forge our path through endless light. So come on out, little Judans of war, little Judans who hide behind desks, behind doors, little Judans that write our religions and laws. I see the Judans are the devils with claws, and they've demonized it to make you believe that it's yours. So come on out, little Judans who hate, you Talmudists, Loxists, you bastards to blame. Oh come on out, Jews who hate the white race, with your clergy plan how you want us replaced. But you're bound to fail and get put in your place, 'cause I see through your plans like I see through your brains. You want nothing more than our blood dripping down drains. You all make me sick to my stomach, 'cause all you do is cause pain. You hate the whole world and you want us erased. You're the false messiahs who stood in God's place. You cause debts and slaves and wanna try shift the blame and give the perpetrator the picture of my people's face. Because you're not God's chosen, you should all be ashamed. And it's why you call us non-human, we got demigod DNA. You know that we are the true tribe that stands in the light of God's rays. And no matter how hard you try, you'll never slaughter my race. You want us to think we're the devil, but it's you in his place. So come, little Judans, come out to play. Come out to play, Judan, with your war face. We all know that it's you that opens the floodgates. Your entire system's based on anti-white hate. And I know it's you that bombs others and then sends them our way. So come, little Judans, come out to play. Come out to play, Judans, with your war face. Don't put a blade in my back, come and stand face to face. But I know, little Judans, that isn't your way. You'd rather deceive and destroy, paying others to slay. But I know, little Judans, that your power will fade, 'cause uprising is nigh and I await the day when your system of evil gets flushed down the drain. Because you want to recreate Babel with your globalist aims. And you'll soon feel the cleansing of the eternal flame. It'll wash over those evil doers and then bury them with rain. We're sick of your rituals and baby dick sucking ways. You're a parasite to our lands and you just spread and spray. And I know you're behind avatar projects for transhumanist slaves. The light it shall conquer and be brought forth once again. So come out, little Judans, your days are outplayed. You'll never defeat the word in which the universe was made. You enjoy evil, me and you, Judan, we're far from the same. For words they came and they took me away, and they want me locked in a cage. All I see in this day and I see in this age is our freedoms all going down drains. For the people that lead us have led us astray and forsaken our ancestors' names. You can shackle and beat me and break down my body, but my spirit you'll never take. And it's coming of love, not of spite nor of hate. Oh, the serpent's rising again, for they say in the end that God always wins and that nature it always reclaims. Oh, Collins, O'Brien, the clans of my mothers, and names I'll honour with grace. You'll never defeat that spirit I hold, though it carries on beyond the grave. So rise up, my brothers, and rise up, my sisters, reclaim what is rightfully yours. For these globalists and elites in our eyes, they ain't nothing but bastards and whores. And they sell out your children for money, of course, and they think they're upholding the law. Oh, the Irish and Britons were family at core, and we shall be divided no more. This entire system, it's corrupt to the core, and yet we cannot take it to court. They welcome in strangers, ignoring their crimes, but go persecute natives and poor. For their fears and concerns about ancestral lands, and for safety of streets that they walk. And of freedom we are deserving once more, from Sligo to Cornwall to Gaul. From Sligo to Cornwall to Gaul, oh, we are deserving once more.
Nyama waragu tata waragu nyama waragu janta. Oh nyama waragu tata waragu nyama waragu janta. Tata waragu nyama waragu tata waragu janta. Nyama waragu tata waragu janta. Nyama waragu tata waragu nyama waragu janta. Oh nyama waragu tata waragu nyama waragu janta. Tata waragu nyama waragu tata